れ様。
Hello, welcome back to the fruit of Grisaia. Appreciate you going out of your way to drop me off.
いいのよ。それじゃあまたあなたにしかできない仕事が入ったら連絡するわ。
Do me a favor and try not to not to call me out for every little thing, alright?
そう言わないの。予備役ってことでこの学園に通う許可が下りたんだから。
I'm aware. Alright, see you later.
あ、ちょっと待って、ユージ。
What now?
今日はお疲れ様。今日のあなた、とっても素敵だったわ。すごく激しくてワイルドで、私しびれちゃった。
What is this? All of a sudden, why are you getting out of the car?
あなたにお休みのキスをしようと思って。
What?
おやすみ、ユージ。
Suddenly, JB twines her arms around me and draws close, pointing a kiss on the side of my face with all the force and speed of a rattlesnake striking its prey. Do we have this kind of relationship? You're so seriously nauseating.
じゃあね、ユージ。愛してるわ。また連絡するね。
JB lets out a high-pitched giggle as brings back into the car. Her high heels sneakers swing up into the air. In the next moment, she's speeding westward off into the night. The heck was that all about? When JB acts like that, it means she's up to something. I can't imagine what she possibly hoped to accomplish this time, but it's best to err on the side of caution when dealing with that woman's schemes. Some sort of trap? I mumbled to myself uneasily, watching as JB's car dwindles quickly into the distance like a bad boy fleeing the scene of a successful prank. And when I turn back toward the school, the nature of her snare becomes clear at once. Sachi stands frozen a little distance away. Her cheeks are flushed red. She's lightly biting down on her lower lip, and her whole body seems to be trembling slightly. She's holding a white plastic shopping bag in her hands. Probably on her way back from an expedition to the convenience store by the station.
私、何も見てませんから。
Hey, hold on, Sachi. I'm pretty sure you're misunderstanding something very badly right now. Let me explain.
私、みちる様に頼まれたアイスクリームを買って帰る途中なので、失礼します。
I'm telling you to hold on a second, alright? JB and I are, well, our relationship isn't...
わかっています。ただれた関係というやつですよね。私も子供ではないので。男の人はそういう体だけのドライな関係というか、むしろウェットな関係を求めるということも理解しています。ノープロブレムです。はい。
No, it's not. GB and I aren't. Look, you got this wrong. She was just screwing around.
はい、わかってます。大人の悪ふざけですね。大丈夫です。あまねさんには黙っておきますから。このことは薄い私の胸にそっとしまっておきますから。
Look, Sachi, can you please just calm down?
疑ってますか？疑って ますね。大丈夫です。こう見えても私、口は硬い方なんです。なんなら今この場で押し倒してキスして確かめてみますか？
Say what?
風見さん。
What?
もしかして私今とんでもないことを言いましたか？
Yes, you did indeed.
もしかして私はこの後レイプされるのでしょうか？
I just... Stop pointing at me. Look, just get lost, will you? Material's waiting, right?
はい、失礼しました。
For crying out loud. Yuuji and JB have known each other a long time. There's no way that was a coincidence. JB must have noticed her. What a malicious prank. The dose was way too strong for a girl with no immunity whatsoever. Okay, JB. I think I might need to give that woman a serious scolding one of these days.
風見さん。
What? You're still here? You need something?
ほっぺに口紅ついてます。天音さんに会う前に拭いてください。それでは。
Unbelievable. Every last one of them. Even as I mutter my complaints, I wipe my cheek with the cuff of my work uniform. JB's pricey lipstick, visibly distinct from the knockoff stuff students buy in convenience stores, is reduced to a fragrant smear on the sleeve of my pink green shirt. It smells distinctly of a grown woman. As I take a whiff, the contrasted scent of gunpowder soaked into my uniform also pricks my nose. Do I smell? Well, whatever, there's nothing I can do about it right now. To be honest, coming back late to this sort of slapstick routine is kind of a bear. Especially after hours of tension and strain on the job, my feet feel oddly heavy as I walk toward the dorm. Back when I was in active duty, I don't think this much would have worn me out. I guess I've probably gone a little soft since I entered this school. Walking past the school building, I'm just crossing over the covered pathway leading to the gym when something ahead catches my eye. There's a light on in my window. Amane, she actually waited. There was no guarantee I'd even come back. In the first place, there was absolutely nothing in it for her. Why sit around in an empty room? Does she enjoy wasting her time? When people put a lot of time into something that produces no concrete benefit to them, that actively can often be classified as a hobby. Maybe sitting around patiently is Amane's favorite pastime. There are a lot of bizarre hobbies out there, no doubt, and it's hardly my place to tell Amane how to spend her leisure time. Even so, I have to say she'd probably be better off finding some slightly more rewarding pursuit. Of course, whether I'll ever share that opinion with her is another matter entirely. The instant I open the door to my room, the smell of domestic life floods into my nose. For a moment, I hesitate in the entrance, my hand frozen on the doorknob. The scent of another human being mingles with the lingering smell of some sort of cooking, forming a greasy, homely mix. When I was a child, and later, when I lived with my master, the scent was ubiquitous, natural. But right now, it feels alien to me. My room seems strangely unfamiliar.
おかえり。
Yeah, Slightly averting my gaze from Amane's unexpected smile, I glance at my wristwatch. It's already past 10 p.m. At my old school, we'd be past lights out by now. Were you waiting for me?
まあね。書き置きだけ残して部屋に戻ろうかとも思ったんだけど、やることもあったし。
What?
アイロンがけ。
I glanced around the room. The clothes I left scattered on the floor earlier are gone. In exchange, a cleaned, ironed, and neatly folded school uniform sits next to Amane.
アイロンは糊がバリバリに効いてる方がいいんだよね。
Yeah. In my line of work, any uniform you wear is expected to be stiff as a board at all times. Get spotted with a wrinkle or two, and your superiors are going to give you absolute hell as a general rule. As a result, I've got an ingrained habit of spraying enough starch on my shirts that you can practically prop them up like a tent after ironing, but I'm pretty sure I've never discussed any of this with Amane before. She probably just noticed my shirts are always crisp and reached that conclusion on her own. Not that this is anything out of the ordinary for her. She's got a truly impressive eye for this sort of detail.
それと胸のところのボタンが取れかけてたから縫い直しておいた。
She passes over the uniform with a smile. On inspection, there is indeed one button with a slightly different colored thread. It's been sewn on particularly firmly. The sight gives me a strange feeling of deja vu. What's this feeling? Right. Back in elementary school, I'd been wearing a shirt with a loose button when someone stopped me, then proceeded to sew it back on right where I stood. My one and only sister, Kazami Kazuki. I see.
実は裁縫はあんまり得意じゃなくてさ、ちょっと縫い目がごつくなっちゃったけど、取れちゃうよりはマシでしょ。
Yeah, thanks. Now that I think about it, hobbies aren't the only reason people act in unprofitable ways. Family. The word wells up spontaneously somewhere in the depths of my chest. Working for someone else without compensation, without any expectation of gain, simply out of affection, as if it's the most natural thing in the world. That's what family is, or so they tell me.
ねえ、晩ご飯はどこかで食べてきた？
No, I haven't eaten anything.
じゃあお腹空いてるよね。すぐに食べる？
Yeah.
待ってて、今温め直すから。
Smiling casually, Amane heads to the kitchen with light, graceful steps. She then places a plate filled with sweet and sour pork and calamari rings in the microwave. Speaking of which, why is there a microwave in my room anyway? I don't remember it being here when I left. For that matter, there's an unfamiliar rice cooker sitting on the shelf next to it. What's with the microwave?
ああ、これね。
マキナが使ってたレンジなの。あの子自分の部屋にはめったに戻らないし、もう使わないだろうからユージの部屋に寄付してくれるって。
That rice cooker too?
そういうこと。3合炊きの小さいやつだけど、半合で炊くよりは手間がかからなくていいでしょ。
I see. The scent that inspired a moment of unease when I entered the room was probably the traces of fragrant steam produced by this small rice cooker. Even as a kid, I didn't have much in the way of happy family dinners. But after my parents and sister died, I came to view meals as nothing more than regularly scheduled nutritional supply periods. And now, something inside me shrinks instinctively away from this sort of warm, domestic meal. There's always this nagging, almost guilty sense that I don't belong in this picture. Of course, when I was living with my master, there were a few meals like this, but that woman was fundamentally crappy in the kitchen and rarely bothered to cook a full-fledged meal. The food she served me wasn't inedible, but it was never what you could call tasty either. JB would occasionally stop me on a whim and whip something up, and the food was definitely an improvement, but it was hard to get too emotional about it knowing I was going to be cleaning up the mess she always left in the kitchen. Hey, Amane. I think I've asked this before, but why do you stick to me so persistently?
だから一目惚れって言ったよね。それプラス私の性格、なんか私って誰かの世話を焼くのが好きみたい。
Do you really expect me to be satisfied with that explanation?
だって他に言いようがないもの。っていうか、どうしてそんなに疑うかな。
Because it's way too convenient a story, can't help feeling a little skeptical. A beauty with huge boobs falls in love with me at first sight, then unilaterally lavishes attention on me out of sheer affection. I'm not quite wet enough behind the ears to swallow that shoddy manga-style setup. There's nothing else behind this. Wait, no, there's something else behind this. I don't think this is me being paranoid. It seems like common sense.
逆に聞くけど、ユージは今まで何人の女の子と付き合ってきたわけ？
I've never dated anyone in my life.
だったらさ、ユージが知らないだけで私みたいな女がいたって変じゃないでしょ？
Well, I guess. Can't deny that I've got gaps in my knowledge. If she declares, this is just how women are these days, I don't have enough points of reference to mount a rebuttal. Do you have
自分
evidence
に
of
理解で
this?
きないものをありえないと否定するのは簡単だけど、それって自分の無知を棚に上げた発言なんじゃないかな。
Because I mean, this is really good if it's true.
すぐに理解しろとは言わないけど、せめて世の中には私みたいな女もいるって事実は認めないと。
You have a point. As the result of ignoring a reality it didn't want to accept, this country once marched blindly into a crushing defeat, mouthing flowery rhetoric about inevitable victory the whole way. In the same way, dismissing a perspective you can't understand as ridiculous is just an egotistical refusal to admit other ways of looking at the world exist. At the very least, I have to acknowledge that my values aren't universal.
せ。用意できたよ。
Tell me something, Amane.
何？
Do you really love me?
言わなかったっけ？大好きだよ。
No hesitation whatsoever, and yet her words still ring hollow in my ears. Is the problem on my end? Well, fine. I guess there's at least one woman out there deranged enough to fall in love with a man like me. I'll accept that as reality.
何それ。つまり私がユージを好きだって言葉信じる気になったってこと？
I'm not going to accuse you of lying, that's all. I still don't understand why you feel the way you do, and there's no change in the fact that I find over-inconvenient women vaguely nauseating.
私の一方的な片思いなのは分かってるけど、それでもこうして海外しく接してくる私を少しは不憫だなとか思わないわけ？
If I started lying to you out of compassion and dating you out of pity, would you really be happy?
たとえきっかけが同情だったとしても、同情のまま終わるような女じゃないもの、私。
You're one heck of a tough, proactive woman, you know that?
惚れ直した？
To be honest, I'm envious.
いいからご飯食べちゃいなさい。
Yeah, sounds like a plan. I bring my hands together in front of the food Amane's at. With loving care, in the microwave, give her my thanks, and move my chopsticks toward the plate. Sweet and sour pork and fried squid. It's one heck of a strange combination, thematically speaking, but the taste itself is impeccable as ever. Her skill at cooking is superb, and in contrast to her seemingly rough and careless attitude, she's unusually attentive to small details and highly considerate of others' needs. A good woman, any way you look at her. Of course, I think that's the exact reason I can't rid myself of my doubts. Why would she fall in love with me, of all people? Really do want to be with Amane. It's delicious.
そう、よかった。
Whatever the case may be, I think Amane's smile is probably genuine, and that's why it makes me feel like there's a warm thorn stabbing into my chest. Do I even deserve to be loved? I understand that I'm overthinking things, but I can't stop. Every time I get on this train of thought, I start wondering what I'm even living for, whether there's any real meaning in my survival. Yeah. I start thinking, I must be a pretty pathetic excuse for a human being, if I can't believe in that smile. It's real easy for people to think this way when there's not someone there for them. When you get down to it, my master was right. I'm still just a punk kid. Just as my mouth begins to loosen into a self-deprecating smile, the sound of a cell phone's message alert resounds inside the room. I instinctively reach my hand to the breast pocket of my work clothes, but the sound didn't come from my phone. Which would mean...
あれ、メールだ。
Amane takes out the cell phone she'd left carelessly in the pocket of her jeans, opens it, and peers down at the LCD screen.
さっちゃんからだ。何々？
It seems the message was sent from Komine Sachi's email address. At that name, my chopsticks abruptly stopped dead in midair. For some reason, I have a bad feeling about this. Apparently finished with Sachi's message, Amane quietly brushes up her long hair with her free hand.
ねえ、ユージ。これ、何？
Amane holds out her cell phone for my inspection. Naturally, Sachi's email is displayed on the screen. From Sachi to Swell Amane, I can't say a thing. Message, and I didn't see a thing. The contents of the email are in a single short line. The problem lies in the image attached to it. It's a camera phone snapshot taken a little while ago. Quite a skillful piece of work, really. In front of the school gate, JB's pressing her lips to my cheek, both arms twined around. She took a picture of it. Oh no. Oh no. Well, that was, involuntarily. I swallowed the food in my mouth along with a lump of spit. It goes down my throat like a rock. Okay, Sachi, what happened to not saying anything to Amane? I mean, I guess she didn't technically put it in words, but... Well, this is Sachi we're talking about. I doubt she did this for the malicious pleasure of it. The burden of keeping the secret was just too heavy for her to bear. In agony with guilt over Amane's ignorance, she probably took advantage of this dubious loophole out of sheer desperation. It was just a stupid prank of JB's.
いたずら？
Well, let's see. It's kind of a long story, but that's pretty much just how she is. I'm going to tell a long story first. What exactly were you doing with JB at the front gate? That's the logical next question for Amane to ask, but... JB is a naturally wicked woman, prone to harassing me in this way at unexpected moments, just so she can smirk at my agitation. Would be my explanation, I guess, but it hardly seems enough to satisfy me. Unfortunately, it also happens to be the truth, so there's not much I can do about it. Yeah, I was. Wait, that doesn't mean this is my job, okay? It isn't.
あ、そう。
Saying that and that alone, Amane closes the cell phone in her hand with a snap, not betraying any particular interest. I sort of expected you to ask me about the job at this point.
どこで何をしていたの？
I told you I work for a cleaning company, right?
うん。
Today we were cleaning a 20-story building in Tokyo, but... Well, this big rat appeared when we were still getting set up, so everyone ended up chasing it around. Thing was, though, the rat was unexpectedly nimble. We ended up losing sight of it entirely. If we just let the thing get away, it'd eventually pop out of its hole again and cause more havoc. And our client was telling us, I can't sleep at night when that rat's on the loose and all that. So we ended up splitting up to track the thing down, but for a rat, it was pretty sly. It took a good 3 hours before we found it again and finally exterminated the thing. I'm intentionally replacing certain nouns with metaphorical analogs, but the information I'm giving Amane is otherwise roughly accurate. I really did spend hours running through the intricate web of sewers under Tokyo in hot pursuit of a regret. Incidentally, a gas mask does absolutely nothing to improve the smell of raw sewage. Yeah, I guess it was, but that's all you have to say. After promising I'd have a meal with her, I ran off to work all of a sudden. Then stayed late without even giving her a call. Not that I possibly could have, leaving her to wait in vain for hours. And to top it off, her reward for this patience is a picture of me flirting around with my boss, but she's not planning to say a word of complaint. I mean, I'm putting up a bit of a defensive front and all, but even I recognize that she kind of got shafted on this one. If she grumbled a little bit, I was pretty much ready to give her a proper apology. But those indifferent responses well outside the range of my expectations. To be honest, it's inspiring some serious unease on my part. Generally, aren't women more, jealous creatures? I'm not exactly an expert, but I've known a few females in my time. As I understand them, women tend to be more selfish about things like this, to the point of irrationality even. You don't have any questions about any of that?
だって仕事の話に口挟まれるの嫌でしょ？それとも何か疑ってほしいの？
That's not it, but...
まあそりゃね、私よりも仕事を優先したってのは面白くないよ。でもそうする必要があったからあんたはそうしたんでしょ？
Yes.
だったら何も間違っていないじゃない。
Yeah, well, I guess not, but... Amane is weirdly understanding about this. She's being so reasonable that it's somehow making me feel increasingly guilty about the whole thing. It's kind of a complicated feeling. All of a sudden, some kind of switch seems to have been flipped inside Amane. Her eyes narrow to slits and her lips jerk up in the very picture of a smirk.
そっか。もしかしてユージ、私に焼きもちを焼いてほしかったのかな？
No, that's really not.
そうよね。ユージはツンデレだもんね。それじゃあ焼きもち焼いちゃおうかな。
Spare me.
キスしてくれたら許すかもよ。
This woman, exactly how serious is she about this? No, I think the real question is, how badly is she underestimating them? Alright, Amane, close your eyes.
いやー、強引。でもそういうの好き。
Kuriko admitted this is nothing more than a bluff. Amane closes her eyes and jerks her chin up and furiously sticks out her lips. Oh, what if he just does it anyway? Do it, Yuuji. This girl's looking down on me. Maybe I should teach her a lesson. Okay, this is probably a route, so I'll ignore it for now. But I'm gonna save.
セーブするわ。
Yeah, this has to be a route. This is idiotic. Can't let myself get caught up in her nonsense. Yep, this is completely idiotic. If I get caught up in Amane's nonsense and let her coax me into kissing her, it's all too obvious that the reparations she'll exact in the aftermath will leave me in staggering debt. Amane waits patiently, her eyes closed and lips puckered like an actor's in a lipstick commercial. I reach out and give her a full force flick to the forehead. That is definitely her route. Moron, did you really think I, of all people, would fall for such a blatant trap?
なによ、一瞬迷ったくせに。参ったな、マジかよとか思いつつ、ちょっとくらいいいか、キスしちゃおっかなとか思ったくせに。
You're the one who said you'd be satisfied playing my big sister, you know? Sisters don't pester their little brothers for a kiss on the mouth. Oh, she's so nice though. I really do want to be with Amane, just not
じゃあ、いないって言い切れるの？
I'd be happy just with Amane. I don't even need any of the other girls. Well, yeah, I guess there's probably a few out there, but that's a seriously rare case.
ねえ、ユージ、お姉ちゃんとキスしよっか。してみたいでしょ？もうしちゃいなさいよ。
Don't start playing some incoherent character from an deport where you're just trying to push this through by force. Or, you know, just a girl that likes you.
なんだよもう、ユージの育児なし。
In my line of work, what you scared is a phrase you don't want to hear under any circumstances. No matter what unreasonable, reckless action you're being encouraged to take, the instant that question gets voiced, you have to spit out, heck no, and instantly leap into action. If you back down in the face of a taunt like that, your reputation among the group will plummet irretrievably. But we can't forget about the wonderful concept of tactical withdrawal. A dignified retreat when the situation calls for it is no act of cowardice. This is just such a case. Anyway, it's late. Head back to your room already. That is her.
何よ、都合が悪くなると追い返そうっての？これだから男ってやつは。
That's a really cute start to her route. I love it. I'm grateful to you for the meal and sewing and everything else to the extent that I can't really express it in words. But this isn't the same as a romantic relationship. You're an adult woman. I think you can grasp the distinction yourself, right?
少し焦りすぎたか。うかつだったわ。もう少し外堀を埋めてから本丸に攻め込むべきだったわね。まあいいわ。今日のところは帰るよ。食べ終わったお皿は流しの桶の中に入れておいて。明日まとめて洗うから。
I can take care of my own dishes.
何よ、私の仕事を奪う気？私はユージの仕事に何も文句を言わないんだから、あんたも私の仕事に文句言わないの？いい？
What a tyrant.
まったく、こんな都合のいい女なんて他にはいないんだからね。感謝しろとは言わないけど、あんまり雑に扱わないのよ。いい？
Yeah, got it.
わかればよろしい。じゃあ私行くね。
Okay,
おや
to
すみ、
be fair,
ユージ。
she's really good, but I'm only doing this, yeah, no, because Michelle is also a really good girl. The girl seems to feel some pathological need to force her way into my life. So I want to do Machiru first. But the way Amane suddenly shows up and starts doing the housework without being asked, only to get hopping mad over something, preach at me for a while, and then vanish as quickly as she came. Okay, I'm I'm gonna do Michiru first, and then I'm gonna do Sachi next, and then after that we'll do Amane. It inspires a definite sense of deja vu. Specifically, her fierce pushiness and burning desire to take care of others reminds me strongly of JB. If I'm comparing her to JB, who's been something like family since I was a kid, I clearly don't dislike Amane. Honestly, I enjoy her company. But it's also undeniable that I have a hard time seeing her as a love interest. Understandable. How can I put this? Well, like I said, she feels more like family. Something like my older sister was to me when she was still alive. Something like my master. Completely understandable, Yuuji. Something like JB. Amane has become someone I care about in that way. And that's actually exactly why I can't thoughtlessly take advantage of her. I don't want to end up making her cry. Those are my honest feelings right now. She's just way too convenient. As I return to the first floor after my bath, I spot Sachi walking toward the front door. She's in full maid uniform, but her hands are empty. Somehow this feels vaguely unsatisfactory. Probably proof that I've gotten accustomed to the way things work around here. Okay, I want to know how Michiru's round starts. She's very interesting to me too. Yo, Sachi.
Konpanpa, Kasami-san.
Sorry, my bad.
Why?
Well, this is one thing I'm not sure I'll ever get used to. Sachi's ability to do absolutely bizarre things while keeping that "this is perfectly normal, why do you ask?" expression on her face is really something else. So, just curious, but is talking like a dyslexic with a Russian accent some sort of fad these days? Or maybe this is some sort of code?
多分どちらも違うと思いますよ。
Which would we use?
それは私が説明。
Okay, that's it. Bye!